Why not? 3 50-point triple-doubles in a season. Wilt Chamberlain had 2 for his career. Oscar Robertson had 2 for his career. Russ has 3 this year.
Yeah, how about the other guy, though, James Harden, having 2 this season as well? I mean, the numbers around the league and what it is that we've seen offensively, the explosion because of the three-point shot, the talent of these players. I mean, it really has been a treat all season long. And we've had, some guys who sat out a lot of minutes. Chris Paul, he was on pace to do some amazing things from the point guard position this year. Kevin Durant was off to an incredible start at Golden State before his mid-season injury. But Russell and James have been remarkable all year long. And to put the kind of performances that he's putting together, Rick, over the course of the past 10 days or so, past 7 or 8 games, you just keep scratching your head. And I'm just wondering what his teammates on a nightly basis keep thinking about over there, whether playing or not playing, that there's not ever a time you don't have a chance with Russell on the team, right? He's going to create some kind of offense. He's going to create some kind of havoc. And there's been a lot more magical moments in this fourth quarter or the fourth quarters this year than at any point of his career.
No lead is safe when you're playing OKC because of this guy. And you think about that game a Monday or so ago against Dallas. They're down 13 points in the gut of the game. He basically single-handedly leads a 14-point comeback, hitting the game winner. It wasn't a buzzer beater, but and he did a similar thing here today. This was Denver's game, and Russ said, no, it isn't. And you see triple-doubles in a season there, 42 for Russ. I mean, when you think about it, and Russ isn't worried about the Denver side, but it's so ruthless, right?
Yeah.
Not only do you can't change your positioning at all. A lot of guys just exhale and, okay, we're down 15-14. You've already passed Oscar. But Russ goes in for the kill even in this game.
Well, I mean, if there was one guy that we would, I think it's a little old term now, but the no-chill adage, Russell is that guy for our league. There is just none with this guy. And knowing that history is on the line, knowing that he was that close in Phoenix, it was a 1 assist or one assist
I think he was 2
rebound.
away.
Okay, so the Phoenix game, I think it was 1, that he was that close.
23, 12, and 8.
Okay, so 2 away. So to be that close and knowing what he can do, I mean, that's the competitive side of what Russell showed here in this game against the Nuggets, is the fact that, yeah, he could chase history and do this. It's inevitable. It felt like inevitable that it was going to happen. But also he could do this to Denver. He could eliminate them. He could put them to bed, be on the road, get some more confidence for his team as the season is going to end this week. And they're going to be preparing for that other guy in James Harden. That's who they're locked up to play against. So, I mean, how delicious is the first round of the Western Conference going to be? OKC, Houston.
I mean, you've got Memphis, San Antonio could be interesting. Golden State and Portland is now locked in. And then 4-5 is going to be Utah and the Clippers. We just don't know who's going to be home court in that one. But you mentioned the 3-6. I want to get to, that playoff matchup in a minute. You have an MVP vote. Yeah. And you and me and Rick Fox were talking earlier tonight. Me and Rick have been on Russ for a while. Yep. And no disrespect to James Harden, I think it's a very, very close race. It'd probably be, for me, 51-49, Russ over Harden. You have an MVP vote, and you told us you're still kind of vacillating.
Well, I just want to make sure that I do my diligence. There's a few days left in the season. Russell's not helping, or helping in this case, depending on how it is that you lean. And so, to assess what it is that Harden's done, what Russell's been able to do, the incredible year that Kawhi Leonard has put together for the San Antonio Spurs, sitting in the second slot there, having their second best season in franchise history, knowing that they lost Tim Duncan and him filling in for Tim in ways that he set some records in terms of double-digit scoring this year, passing Tim consecutively. And then LeBron James, all the improvements that he's made in his game in his 14th season now, shooting the ball the way that he has, carrying that team. I know defensively they've struggled. There's plenty to look over. But tonight there is one guy just to look at, and it's what Russell was doing for Oklahoma City.
Bones, when is that vote due?
I believe, the votes are all due by Friday, the 14th. And tomorrow I'll sit down and go through some papers, make some phone calls, and really take some great care and pride in the fact that I've been asked to vote. I think a lot of people this year are making sure that they take the appropriate time, given how close this is and given the importance of the race, given how much attention is on it. And I just want to do my diligence. It's nice to have 4 incredible selections, maybe even 5 if you want to throw Isaiah Thomas in the mix and what he's done for the Boston Celtics. So fans should be happy.
No doubt. I mean, it's been, arguably the top storyline in the NBA all year has been the MVP race that really crystallized to Russ and Harden at least halfway through the year. But LeBron James, he's in the MVP race as well. Maybe not a primetime contender like Russ and like Harden, but LeBron, being the classy guy that he is after a heartbreaking loss to the Hawks, says congrats to the Brody at Russ West 44 on setting the record. Hashtag why not? Pretty cool because Russ just said that's his motto. And LeBron James apparently was aware of that. Hashtag
Nike,
why not?
Maybe Nike has something to do with that.
Is that a Nike thing?
I think they've got that going up
Okay.
there. But it's cool of LeBron to do that. And you just think about how much players around the league have talked about what it is that Russ has represented on a nightly basis, Rick. I mean, it's just been incredible to have that kind of drive, that kind of desire, and that kind of ability, I guess, to muster that kind of energy nightly. And Russell has made history. It's been a treat to watch him all year long.
Okay, so I mentioned that I wanted to hold off on the 3 versus 6 conversation for just a minute. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. Russ and Harden have been staring each other down eye to eye from afar, and obviously the head-to-head matchups all year long.
Yeah.
And now here we've played 82. Well, we played 80, and we're going to play 82. And then it's going to be Thunder and Rockets first round. The basketball gods are smiling on us.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about it, Rick. Immediately I start to think about, okay, so Russell Westbrook's going to play against the Houston Rockets, and James Harden is the leader of that team. But then I start to think about the history that the Rockets and Thunder have had with one another. Think about the history that Russell Westbrook has had specifically playing against Patrick Beverley and what that matchup represents, the type of anticipation, not that Russell has to go in to try to be the underdog with Oklahoma City and upset what it is that the Houston Rockets are about, but what Patrick Beverley's mindset is, knowing what Russell Westbrook represents to Oklahoma City, what he represents in terms of Oklahoma City's success, and how much pride he takes on the defensive end. And so that matchup in and of itself, irregardless of the teams and what they can provide for you in terms of fireworks, Beverley playing Westbrook, that's going to be fascinating.
All right, well, then look at the other side. Who guards Harden the majority of the time?
Awesome. Another great matchup. A guy who's considered by some to be the second best perimeter defender in the league behind Kawhi Leonard. To have those two guys going up against one another is going to be fantastic. And that kind of length, that kind of pressure, what he can do in the high pick and roll, using that length, the two bigs in Adams and Cantor covering up the lane, it's already shaping up. I'm already getting excited.
I love it.
It's not even locked. It's locked in, and we're not there yet. But there's a lot to sink your teeth into with regards to those two teams and how Houston can keep coming at them offensively in that series. But those matchups, Harden and Westbrook, not against one another, but defensively, who it is those guys have to attack on the opposing team.
Yeah, and you think about a Steven Adams and an Enes Kanter in sort of the big approach of maybe an OKC versus the small ball, 3-ball approach for Houston. It's going to be fascinating. Cannot wait.